morning, October 19th at 8:30 a.m. May we get a roll call, please?
Member Chavez?
Here.
Member DeCiani? Member Eckhoff?
Here.
Member Ryan? Here. Member Rutledge?
Here.
Member Selman?
Here. All right, and may I get a motion to approve the Economic Development Committee meeting minutes from September 21st of 21?
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Just for Chairwoman's remarks, I'll keep it really brief today. I just wanted to thank WorkNet for coming in at our last meeting and then following up on some of the childcare changes. We all received that memo, so I wanted to thank you for that follow-up. And I know we've got a few things in the works with a couple of members who are also thinking along those lines. So I think that's very exciting. And that's really all I had today, but I do believe that we do have public comment for this morning. Okay, wonderful. So you just want to step in?
Come on
and
over
introduce
into the-
yourself? Yes.
You
You can
come
actually
here.
come back here, actually, yeah, by me.
Committee members, thank you so much. My name is Karen Shervat. I'm the Executive Director of Power Forward DuPage, where we represent the electrical industry's most highly skilled and trained workforce, over 350 electrical contractors, and over 1,500 union electricians through the IBEW Local 701. Now, acting as a professional partner with businesses and individuals, our goal is to help ensure electrical, energy, and communication projects are safely completed on time and on budget, and we are a proud member and supporter of Choose DuPage. By opening the dialogue between private and public sector leaders, Choose DuPage is ensuring that our community continues to thrive. This has led DuPage County being a business and development friendly climate with more than 40 million square feet of development in the past decade. And from a labor standpoint, this has directly translated into jobs being created. Choose DuPage also assists in promoting the opportunities that exist for a union career through our joint apprenticeship training program and the DuPage County Building Trades. This support helps ensure that we have enough workers to meet projected construction growth, which strengthens our economy. And at this time, I would respectfully ask that you approve Choose DuPage's budgetary request, and I thank each of you for your time and commitment to DuPage County.
Thank you for that. All right, I believe that's all we have today for public comment. Okay, great. So may I request a motion to receive, on place, and file our 2 informational items, which are Systematics Incumbent Worker Training memo.
So moved.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. And then we have a second one to receive and place on file. So I'll request a motion for that for Corky's Catering Incumbent Worker Training memo.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries as well. We do have one change order today. So I'll move to approve EDCO 050721. Amendment to contract issued to World Relief DuPage Aurora for youth training services to extend and increase the contract by $275,621. Let me say that again. $275,621.
Second.
We get a motion? Motion.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I think I moved, but we can have a second, and then all in favor?
I had a question.
Oh, sure.
Is this Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, so it's $275,000, and according to your memo, it's serving additional 20 people. Is that?
Yes, yeah.
So that's a lot of money. So tell me what you're gonna do.
So it's an addition that to the existing contract. With those funds, it covers the staff that work directly with those young adults. This is a youth contract. Works directly with those young adults to do youth job readiness skills training. They can do work-based learning experiences such as paid internships, and then job training. So like the ITAs or vouchers that we issue. So all in, the actual cost per the program ends up right around our $10,000 funding cap. When you factor in their personnel costs and operating costs, that's where you get the additional 75,000 or so budget on that.
Okay, great. I'm a big fan of World Relief, so.
They've done excellent work for us, which is why we continue to re-up their contract. They've served approaching, I think, 80 youth so far since the beginning of the youth contract, which is an outstanding performer for us.
When you say youth lease, what are you talking as far as age group?
17 to 24, but typically 17 is, we don't see too many that young. But 24 is the upper limit on that.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, so we've got a motion and a second. So is everyone in favor of this resolution? Or who is in, I guess I should ask, or both in favor? And any opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, with leave of the body, we will request if it's okay to have Choose DuPage go ahead and present prior to their resolution. So I will turn it over to Greg Bedeloff.
Thank you, Chairwoman Chavez. I was actually hoping that you would vote on the resolution before I get. I want to take a moment to just introduce some folks who are here with me today. Lisa Maselli, who you all know is Vice President of Economic Development for Choose DuPage. And this gentleman behind the mask is Hugh Elliott. Hugh serves as the private sector co-chairman of the board of Choose DuPage and has served in that capacity for 2 years. Hugh is an equity partner with Dugan and Lopatka, a fine accounting firm located in Warrenville, Illinois. He's one of the many members of our board, 50 plus strong, who donate their time and talent and financial resources to help Choose DuPage promote economic development in DuPage County. So thank you for being here, Hugh. I just wanted to give a brief presentation along with Lisa. I know you're voting on the continuation of our 2-year service agreement this morning. So we put together a brief presentation that Lisa and I will go over with you, and hopefully Joe will keep up because I know your time is valuable. So I want to go through this quickly. So real quickly, a little bit about Choose DuPage for those of you who don't know. You know, we're the collective voice of the business community, and our role is to support and promote the DuPage difference and to continue to promote DuPage County as a premier global business location. From an attraction and retention standpoint, this is what we do. We try to grow, retain, and attract businesses. Clearly, we help support countywide economic development initiatives. 2021 was a great example of that, as was 2020 with the grant programs. And then we try to address policy issues critical to the needs of the regional economy. So from a revenue source, you're here today to hopefully approve a service agreement with us, which obligates the county to $425,000 annually. That represents 49% of our total funding. We think it's really important to recognize that we are a public-private partnership, but we also want to emphasize the fact that, at least since I've been here, our private sector contributions have always exceeded the public sector contribution. We want to make sure that we continue to focus on that. You can do the math to figure out what our total budget is from there. I will point out that we get a lot of in-kind services as well that contribute to our private sector contributions, things like accounting work, audit services, and legal services. Next slide, please. So 2020, how did we do in 2020? We put together a quick project scorecard, and I am going to defer to Lisa Maselli, our Vice President of Economic Development, to quickly go over our scorecard.
Sure. So when we talk about our scorecard, we talk about projects in DuPage County, mainly office and industrial projects that meet these criteria. $1 million more invested in the project, over 20,000 square foot, more than 20 new jobs, a headquarters facility, or there was significant Choose DuPage involvement. So above these projects that we have here, there's a lot more in DuPage County. Next slide, please. So project highlights for 2020, we had 147 new projects. So even during COVID, compared to 2019, we had significantly more projects than the previous year. A lot of these were transportation and logistics companies, but you know, it does expand on beyond transportation and logistics. We had over 500 new jobs, but that's really with only 10% of the companies reporting. It accounted for 11.8 million square feet of development, investing of over $156 million in DuPage into the DuPage economy.
516.
I'm sorry, 516, yes. Next slide. So highlighting just 6 of these 147 projects, we have Nippon Express. They're already located in Wooddale. They had a huge expansion project up there this past year, adding 317,000 square feet to their existing facility. And this was a new construction project. With that project, they brought 100 of their New York City-based employees to our area. So that's very positive. And this is now their US location for this Japanese company. NTT is a data center, and that is up in Itasca. That was formerly Raging Wire. Again, expanding. A lot of that had to do with the legislation that was passed a year or two ago, so that's very positive for our area. Looking at the other ones, Greenleaf and Ball, those are two innovation centers that were created here in DuPage County. And the economic impact of both of those projects as innovation centers is huge for our economy. So this is very positive. Robert Bosch is a move across the border from Broadview, and they moved into One Tower Lane, taking up 100,000 square feet of office space. So that is very significant, especially during these times. Business attraction scorecard. So
Can I interrupt her just for a second? Can you go back real quickly, Joe, to that one? You might be asking, you know, kind of what role Choose DuPage played in all 6 of these. So these are businesses that contact us. These are businesses that say, find us square footage. These are businesses that say we have labor issues. Can you guys help with labor? These are businesses that say we have entitlement issues. Greenleaf Foods, believe it or not, moved in down the street from our office. We're at 2525 Cabot Drive in Lisle. Greenleaf Foods identified a building, and believe it or not, the building did not have natural gas going to it. So in order for them to go into that building, they needed natural gas, and they needed it in 90 days because they needed to sign a lease. NICOR is on the board of directors of Choose DuPage. We reached out to NICOR. We had gas in that building in less than 60 days.
Nice.
Greenleaf is the largest purveyor of plant-based food products, kind of the Impossible Burgers and the Beyond Beef kind of thing. They're the largest purveyor of that kind of product in North America. And they were previously located in Elmhurst. They still have a small operation in Elmhurst. This will serve as their worldwide test kitchens. And just interestingly, because this is kind of what we do, and it's just a little bit anecdotal, but I think it kind of gives a little flavor, pardon the pun, to the Greenleaf deal. These businesses are always looking for ways to grow. And Greenleaf said, look, we're not looking for anything special that you wouldn't give anybody else, but we have a great product that's healthier, and it's taking over the nation in terms of food products. Can you connect us with your schools? Can you connect us with the county? Can you connect us with your jail? All we want is the opportunity to bid on these types of businesses because we think it provides a benefit to the residents. So Dan Curtin, the CEO, doesn't hurt that the CEO of Greenleaf Foods lives in Wheaton, to be perfectly honest. But that's the kind of stuff that we do to try to facilitate these deals. I always tell people, we don't have a magic wand. We can't get the football, metaphorically speaking, from one goal line to the other. But when it's on the 10-yard line or closer, we help get it over the goal line and into the end zone.
yeah, and also adding to Greenleaf Foods, they had just built a huge manufacturing facility for their for their plant-based product in Indianapolis, outside of Indianapolis. And they could have easily moved this operation there, but they chose to stay in DuPage County, especially because of being in Elmhurst already, but because of the relationships that they had here. So that's very positive. Moving on to the next, do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So again, we continuously work to attract and retain businesses. We respond to RFIs. We do a ton of local business outreach and tracking. We work with all of the 30+ municipalities. We consider ourselves the back room, if you will, for those municipalities that don't have a direct focus on economic development. Several do. Several have a chamber or their own independent EDC. More do not. More look at Choose DuPage for data, more look at Choose DuPage for reports, more look at Choose DuPage for information that can help them grow their local economy. And of course, we do business attraction marketing campaigns that you're all familiar with. So this slide's a little misleading. 20, you might be saying, wow, what happened in 2020 and how come it didn't happen in 2019? 2019, 2018, 2017, and 2016 are reflective of what Lisa talked about earlier, 100,000 square feet or more, 20 million in investment. 2020 includes the grant program recipients. So that we reached out and, as you all know, handheld over 1,000 businesses in DuPage County, helping them through the pandemic and helping them access the funds that you all allocated from CARES and now ARPA.
Yeah, and adding to that too, it wasn't just the grant program, it was helping them access the resources they needed to stay open during the pandemic. So that's included in that 1,000 number there.
And then from a business attraction meeting, these are ones where we go and we meet with the CEO, we meet with the real estate people, we meet with the site selectors and the brokers, and we respond to RFIs, requests for information. Those typically come from the state of Illinois. When a business in Germany or a business in Canada is looking at Northeastern Illinois, they typically start with an organization called Intersect Illinois. Intersect Illinois is the Choose DuPage for the entire state of Illinois. And those RFIs get funneled down to us, and then we take it from there. So from a current project perspective, I'm going to defer to Lisa on this one again, because she's the one who does all the work on
Well,
this.
okay. So these are just some examples of some of the industrial and office products or projects that we've been working on. Amazon obviously is expanding, adding a facility in Addison, West Chicago. And then one of the big office projects on here is Strata Cache. And this, again, is a new research facility from a company that's based in Dayton. They're opening a new facility here in Lisle, bringing over 100 new high-tech, high-paying jobs to the former McCain food site. So that's a real win for DuPage County. And moving on to the next slide. Strategic plan.
And I'm going to let you do the strategic plan since you crafted it.
So about a year or
I do a lot of work. Lisa does a lot of
over a year ago, we decided it was time to do a strategic plan for DuPage County when it comes to economic development. We hadn't done a strategic plan probably in 8 or 9 years. And so it was time for Choose DuPage to undertake this effort, especially in light of everything that was going on within the COVID world. Next slide. So these are the 12 strategic plan goals. I know we reached out to all of you. We reached out to the businesses, to our board members, to everybody to see what was most important from an economic development standpoint for strategic planning for the next 2 to 3 years. So these are the 12 goals that we have identified, some that we've had on the table for years, including facilitating the completion of Western Access, but others that are new to our planning efforts, including, promoting sustainable growth, promoting commercial collaboration, et cetera. And by the way, this strategic plan is on our website for anybody who would like to access it.
As well as and I don't know if it's up yet, but one thing I insisted on and our board insisted on for a strategic plan was that it was more than a 3-ring binder that sat on someone's shelf. So it's not only located on our website, but there is also a dashboard that will go on our website that will identify the 12 goals and how we're performing against those 12 goals. So hopefully a year from now or 2 years from now, when we're back in front of you again, we'll be able to show the dashboard and how we've done in relation to those goals.
And the action items for each goals are listed on our website too.
Okay.
So next slide. So some of the current initiatives that we're working on, we're creating a sustainability resource page for the DuPage businesses. We're working with Joy Hens and the Department of Environment on identifying resources that businesses can access from a sustainability standpoint. We're also hoping to host a series of lunch and learns on sustainability topics, and that will be held during April, which is Earth Month. And so we're excited about that. We are working with John Loper and the team on the DuPage County Mobility Plan. I know Greg's been doing a lot of work on this.
Mobility used to be the last mile. You guys have all heard about the last mile. How do we get people from the train station to their final place of employment? The private sector has largely addressed that. Uber, Lyft, a lot of rideshare opportunities. What we're finding now, and I think John would agree, is mobility is becoming as much about medical mobility as it is anything else. As the county ages and folks need access to quality healthcare, a mobility plan surrounding access to quality medicine and quality healthcare, which we have a ton of here in DuPage, is becoming more and more important. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to stop worrying about the last mile. PACE is on our board, all of the folks from Uber and Lyft that we connect with on a regular basis, but it's kind of shifted a little bit of its focus.
So in regards to 2 of our goals pertaining to commercial collaboration and inclusive and equitable growth, we have been undertaking a project to develop a Choose DuPage supply chain program that will connect the business community to other DuPage businesses within their supply chains. So this is an initiative, it's under development right now, but one of the components of this is also to connect the DuPage business community with diverse businesses in DuPage County. So it's kind of a 2-pronged approach here, but we think a lot of businesses are asking for this information. We feel there's a real need to kind of get a database together so we can make these connections. And we think that we have a lot of the resources at Choose DuPage to make this work. So
This is part of our diversity and minority-owned business initiative. We came to you through Nick previously with a request for ARPA funds for enhanced marketing for 2022 and beyond. This is not a program, this commercial collaboration program of which Lisa speaks is going to require some time and some effort and some money. So, and I know you're all constantly talking about what's above the line, what's below the line, what's allocated, what's not allocated. We decided to look at how the minority business community could be helped through ARPA funds, strictly from a business perspective with commercial collaboration and inclusive growth. And this initiative of working with existing businesses to help connect them with minority businesses and helping the minority business community learn how to deal with the other businesses and hopefully at some point the county. This is our jumping off point for that diversity initiative within economic development for DuPage County. It would include things like outreach events that we've talked about. It would include things like education from our board members, many of whom have already volunteered to help with financial literacy, to help with, you know, how do you position your business? Working with Innovation DuPage, you may have been familiar. ID just did a program through HACIA called From Owner to CEO, where they worked with minority-owned businesses and they worked with the owners of those businesses who had really good businesses to teach them how to be a better CEO so they could grow that business. This is kind of the Choose DuPage version of that.
And the last initiative on here is right now, in fact, we've just completed, we are doing economic impact studies on certain industry sectors. So we've just completed one on innovation centers and data centers to see how we can position ourselves moving forward for DuPage County in these particular sectors.
And I'll be blunt, the reason we're doing that is because in our humble opinion, there will not be a new office building built in DuPage County for years, right? I mean, remote working, the workforce has changed. This is the growth market. Innovation centers, data centers, transportation, distribution, and logistics are what's coming to DuPage County, quite frankly, whether we want it or not. Of course, we could always zone to prohibit it. I would recommend that that would be a bad idea, but that's what's coming. So as board members and mayors and local village managers, they need to know what is the impact of this? What would it generate from a revenue perspective? Because they're used to sitting back and collecting revenue off of an office building and sales tax off the people that are in the office building. And if that's going to change, we think it's important to share that information with people who use these decisions when they're determining property tax versus sales tax versus every other kind of tax. And we have the tools that we can do it. So this is one of our goals for 2022.
Excellent.
So we talked about the Reinvesting Bait program, but you know, you wouldn't get Choose DuPage in front of you if we didn't have a chance to talk about it again. Over $36 million, which of course ARPA and CARES funds, to over 2,000 businesses. And that's just the average amount awarded. What we're doing with these small businesses now is pretty exciting. We got them in our database. So now we're working with them as part of that commercial collaborative to see if we can help them grow their businesses. Again, Teresa's not here, but kudos to Teresa O'Brien, because this was a program that any banker would tell you would have taken, you know, 5 years to distribute this kind of money. And we were proud of the fact that working with you all, we were able to get it done in under a year. From a marketing perspective, you know, our marketing is a big part of what we do. And this just gives you a brief overview of how we do it through our various channels, digital, social media, et cetera, et cetera. Marketing is one of those weird animals where you never know if it's working or not working until it works or it doesn't work. But if you want to advance to the next slide, here's some data points about how we do from a marketing perspective. And these are way above industry standards. And we are increasing our social media and marketing presence on an annual basis. And we measure, our board insists that we measure the heck out of it and report back on how we're doing it. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. And again, we hope that you would support our 2-year service agreement with the county. It's our pleasure to serve you all and the businesses at DuPage.
Greg, how many minority businesses are there that have you identified in DuPage?
1,200?
Yeah, 4,000.
4,000. 1,200 women owned?
We have, I believe.
Minority
so.
businesses by the state, as you probably know, are classified as DMWBE. So it includes women-owned businesses. And 1,200 popped into my mind, remember DCM, because somebody asked me recently how many women-owned businesses.
How many
And
businesses?
I have 3 daughters, so I'm all about.
I get it. How many businesses in total?
95, just over 95,000.
Including every anything, working out of your home, every kind of business, not just a covered establishment.
Right. And DBEs are included in that?
Yes, sir.
How much of our budget is gonna go toward that as far as the marketing side?
Well, that's a great question. DMWBE exposure and initiatives around DMWBE have always been part of our marketing plan. But this year, there will be as we talked about with that commercial collaborative, there will be a defined component of our marketing plan that focuses exclusively on DMWBE. So marketing as a budget as a total percentage of the Choose DuPage budget, I look to my accountant.
Yeah, I would guesstimate it's probably 15% somewhere around there.
Yeah, 15-20% of our total budget is marketing. And I would say you're probably going to see 30 to 40% of that this year focused on DMWBE businesses. And I shouldn't say business. 30 to 40% of that will have a DMWBE slant to it.
Sure. Very good, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. All right, well then let's move on to the resolution to get this passed. I move approval of EDR 047321, resolution for the service agreement between the County of DuPage and Choose DuPage for the period of December 1st, 21 through November 30th, 2023.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that resolution passes.
Okay, I have to go to another room, but just make a comment really quick.
Of course.
Good job on the presentation, and also like to see that you guys are really, the support from the private industry for Choose DuPage, seeing that now more than the public support is really great. So
Thank you.
good job on that, and all your help with the small business loans. Was a great project. Liked working with you guys on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Member
Yes.
Chaplin.
Okay, the company.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. I think that
Thank
was
you.
a wonderful and collaborative effort. So thank you. All right, so then let's move on to our procurement requisitions. I move approval of EDP 039421, awarding resolution issued to DuPage Regional Office of Education Youth Training Program, contract total amount of $50,000. All
Second.
right, are there any questions? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this motion carried. All right, do we have any old business for today? No? Any new business? All right, so without objection, I will move to adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.